Good evening, and welcome to the second in our series on the vegetarian way. This is our cooking demonstration series that we've been doing. As I mentioned last week, we've been running these for quite a few years now, going on 20 years. We missed out a couple of years due to the pandemic, but last week was the first one we did in a couple of years, so we're really thankful that we were able to put that on, and for the really good turnout. Thank you for coming last week, and we trust you enjoyed that. And for those who are new here tonight, anyone new here, first time tonight? A couple of you? Yeah, welcome. We hope you enjoy it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. It's pretty interactive, so as the presenters or the demonstrators present, feel free to ask any questions. And just let us know if you need any help going forward. Now, tonight, I'll be giving you a little presentation leading into the cooking demonstrations, okay? This will go hopefully about 20 minutes, and then we'll go into the demonstrations tonight. And we have, you all got the recipes here? Yeah? Okay, so this is all the recipes here tonight. And before we do, I'd like to just introduce you, well, I won't introduce you to them, but the presenters tonight is Lydia, Rosetta, and Stella. Stella is our new presenter for this evening, so she's going to be presenting as well, or demonstrating as well. So tonight, I'd like to begin by looking at just a common topic, and that is calcium. We all need calcium, right? And what's one of the biggest worries or concerns that you might have, particularly as you're getting to the mid to later years in life? What's one of the major concerns you have with calcium? Breaking bones, yeah, osteoporosis, right? Yeah, okay, so we'll talk a little bit about that tonight. So what I want to present, though, tonight is the benefits of a plant-based calcium. Now, growing up in Australia, you might have been exposed to a lot of ads on milk, yeah? Dairy industry, television, drink your milk, right? Glass a day, yes? Problem with milk, it's for cows. And baby cows, almost double their size in a matter of 6 months or so. And certainly we don't do that. So, but why is it promoted? Because the dairy products are particularly rich in calcium. And so the dairy industry eagerly supports efforts to boost calcium consumption. And this is, I'm going to share a few thoughts tonight on this from a book here by T.C. Campbell, The China Study. Published in 2006, this book was, as well as a couple of other references as well. Now, what's the situation with osteoporosis? Well, believe it or not, those countries which are promoting heavily dairy products and to drink or consume dairy products to mitigate against the risk of osteoporosis, guess what? The highest in dairy product consumptions, I've listed a few of them here. 6 countries: Finland, Sweden, America, England, New Zealand, and Australia. And the highest in osteoporosis is Finland, Sweden, America, England, New Zealand, and Australia. Oh, well then we must have to consume more dairy products, right? No, no. This is the problem with this. Let's have a look. What's the problem with particularly calcium as it comes from dairy products? Well, firstly, Americans consume more cow's milk and its products per person than most populations in the world. So Americans should have wonderfully strong bones, right? According to T.C. Campbell here. Unfortunately not. A recent study showed that American women aged 50 and older have one of the highest rates of hip fractures in the world. The only countries with higher rates are in Europe and the South Pacific, which is predominantly Australia and New Zealand, where they consume even more milk than the United States. And so we're told to drink your milk for strong bones, but something is amiss, though, because those countries that use the cow's milk the most and its products also have the highest fracture rates and the worst bone health. There's something wrong with this. There's something wrong. What is the problem here? Well, let's have a look at this. This is again on studies. that too much animal protein actually leaches calcium. And why is that? Well, let's have a look here. Researchers explain that animal protein, unlike plant protein, increases the acid load in the body. An increased acid load means that our blood and tissues become more acidic. And the body does not like this acid environment and begins to fight it. Now, in order to neutralize the acid, what does the body use? Guess what it uses? Calcium. Calcium. So it's a catch-22. You're consuming the dairy products to metabolize the protein, right, that you're getting from the animal kingdom. But that calcium is not enough. If not enough goes in, it leaches it from the bones. So this, in order to neutralize this acid, the body uses the calcium, which acts as a very effective base. The calcium, however, must come from somewhere. It ends up being pulled from the bones, and the calcium loss weakens them, putting them at greater risk for fracture. So the more animal protein you consume, as we touched on last week, has some negative effects on the body. This is one of them. To metabolize it, it leaches the calcium from your body to metabolize the acid that's being produced by it as a byproduct. And so we have heard evidence for well over 100 years that animal protein decreases bone health. We've also known that animal protein is more effective. We have also known that animal protein is more effective than plant protein at increasing the metabolic load in the body. So when animal protein increases the metabolic acid and draws calcium from the bones, the amount of calcium in the urine is increased. So animal protein, basically what it's saying is it creates more waste products that need calcium to get rid of. And so where's the body going to get calcium from if it's not getting it from the food? It's going to get it from the bones. And that's what's happening here. So calcium really is going down the toilet. Ingested animal calcium, if we take 1,000 milligrams of animal calcium, absorbed animal calcium is about 300 milligrams, or negative 300. Excreted body calcium is at 350 milligrams. So the actual calcium retained is about minus 50 milligrams. So you're not actually retaining the calcium that you're consuming from animals. A negative calcium balance means that more calcium is excreted in the urine than is absorbed through the digestion. And that negative balance over time results in bone loss, as the additional calcium must come from our primary storehouse, which is our bones. So that's why the animal calcium we're consuming is not effective at reducing osteoporosis in these countries. Because these countries are also high animal protein consumers. That's the problem here. Now, animal protein, in effect, equals calcium loss. One study was done, the most comprehensive epidemiological survey involving hip fractures and food in 1992. The authors sought out every peer-reviewed geographical report ever done on hip fracture incidents. They located 34 published studies of women in 16 countries. Their analysis showed that diets high in animal protein had the highest correlation with hip fracture rates, with an 81% correlation between eating animal protein and fractures. That's a huge, those no statistics, 81% correlation is highly correlated between the two. So that's the problem with animal protein. What about vegetable protein? Well, published data clearly links increased urinary excretion of calcium with animal protein intake, but not with vegetable protein intake. Plant foods, though some may be high in protein, are not acid-forming. They don't have the same metabolic waste as animal protein does. So look, a ratio of vegetable protein to animal protein consumption was found to be impressively associated with a virtual disappearance of bone fractures in other studies that have been done. So the more vegetable protein you consume as opposed to animal protein, the lower will be the incidence of bone fractures. The implication there is osteoporosis. So this is the benefits of the vegetarian diet bringing out here. In China, in our rural China study, where the animal to plant ratio was about 10%, right? 10% animal protein, 90% vegetable protein. The fracture rate is only 1/5 that of the United States. 1/5. And in Nigeria shows an animal to plant protein ratio only about 10% of that of Germany, and the hip fracture incidence is lower by over 99%. So the more animal protein you have, the greater incidence there will be of hip fractures. The less animal protein, the more plant protein, the lower will be the incidence of hip fractures. Okay? So taking this on board then, we want to look at, in the vegetable kingdom, what are foods that are high in vegetable calcium? Okay? Calcium per 100 grams of food source. Kelp, 1,093 milligrams per 100 grams. Bok choy, 1,055 milligrams. Dulse, 296 milligrams. Collard greens, 250 milligrams. Turnip greens, 246 milligrams. We have brewer's yeast at 210 milligrams. Parsley, 203 milligrams. Brazil nuts, 186 milligrams of calcium. Tofu is 128 milligrams. We have sunflower seeds at 120 milligrams. And last on our list, in terms of calcium, I'm going to throw in here cow's milk, all right? 118 milligrams. So you're told to consume more, and yet it's the lowest on this list of sources of calcium. That's the worst for you. Okay, so the vegetable kingdom, we're wanting greens. There's plenty of green. Calcium is in plenty of greens, okay? So many green vegetables have calcium absorption rates of over 50% compared with about 32% for milk. That's why you've got to drink more milk to get the same amount of calcium from your greens. Now, just to do a little comparison, how large is a cow compared to a human? How many times? What? Maybe 5 times? 5, 6 times? Body mass, yeah? Say 400 pounds, 500 pounds animal. The bone density of cows, think about what that would be, how big their bones are. And what do they eat all day? Grass. Where are they getting the calcium from? The grass. They're getting the calcium from the grass. So think about that. Greens. Calcium is in the greens. The greener it is, you can be sure it has calcium in there. So now, since plant protein includes calcium excretion in the urine, the calcium retention of vegetables is higher. All green vegetables are high in calcium. Here's some examples here. Brussels sprouts, 63.8%. Mustard greens, 57.8%. Broccoli, 52.6%. Turnip greens, 51.6%. Kale at 50%. And there last on our list there is cow's milk, 32% absorption. Okay? So the body is attuned to the vegetarian diet. And that was covered last week by Alfredo. You know, our body is designed best, to function best on the vegetarian diet. You know, we'll get by on the meat diet, right? We get by on it, but not without all the associated health implications that comes with it. So the ideal diet for our system is the vegetarian diet if we want to reduce the incidence of osteoporosis and bone fractures in our older life. Now, a poor diet equals poor calcium loss and osteoporosis, and that poor diet would include animal protein, salt. All these things leach calcium from the diet, from the body. Salt, caffeine, sugar, alcohol, nicotine, aluminum-containing antacids, and drugs such as antibiotics, steroids, thyroids, hormones. Right? All these things that we know are poor articles of food to include in our diet if we want to live a healthy life. You know, we need to avoid, cut down, if not eliminate these entirely from our diets. All right. A vegetarian diet is equivalent to calcium gain and strong bones, and these would include vegetables, and I've got a list there: bok choy, kelp, parsley, pulse, dandelion. We have beet greens, broccoli, spinach, olives, nuts. And you've got a few selections there: almonds, Brazil nuts, walnuts, pecans, peanuts, cashews. Some of us might have allergies to some of these things, but there's plenty of nuts that we can choose from that we may not have allergies. Okay, I know my wife has allergies, I think, with almonds, so we've got to avoid the almonds and make sure we choose some other nuts. Grains, tapioca, wheat bran, buckwheat, rye grain, seeds, sunflower, sesame, pumpkin, squash. Fruits, plenty of fruits full of calcium. Dried figs, dried apricots, raisins, black currants, dates, dried prunes and oranges. And our legumes, we touched on that last week in the recipe with our lima bean. What was that last week? The lima bean. Yeah, lima bean shepherd's pie. All right. If you weren't here last week, it's on the YouTube. The demonstration is there on our website, and or actually on YouTube channel. And you can see Lydia for the recipes if you missed out last week. All right, but legumes, soy, chickpeas, cooked dried beans, anything from the legume kingdom, full of calcium. Now, I want to touch a little bit in closing, just in the few minutes I have left, just on protection from soy and flaxseed. Okay, firstly, soy protection. There was a study done. Its aim was to compare for the first time the long-term effects of soy milk, or soy. The dairy industry now doesn't like us to call it milk. They want to call it a soy drink, right? Because the milk comes from a cow, and beans don't have milk, right? But we call it a soy drink, with or without isoflavones, with natural transdermal progesterone or the combination. On bone mineral density in the lumbar, spine, and hip. Postmenopausal Caucasian women with established osteoporosis, or at least 3 risk factors for osteoporosis, were randomly assigned. All right, so the study was to see what effect does soy milk have, long-term drinking of soy milk have, with or without isoflavones. And isoflavone is phytoestrogen. Phytoestrogens, okay? So with or without phytoestrogen, what is the long-term effect on postmenopausal Caucasian women? Now there was a double-blind study done to one of 4 treatments groups. Soy milk containing isoflavones, okay, transdermal progesterone, or the combination of soy and TDP, or placebo, and progesterone-free cream. The daily intake of 2 glasses of soy milk containing 76 milligrams of isoflavones prevents lumbar spine bone loss in postmenopausal women. That was the outcome of the study. Actually, that consuming soy milk actually reduces the spine bone loss in postmenopausal women. Okay? Now, some human studies and animal models of experimental osteoporosis have shown that soy isoflavones, which I mentioned was phytoestrogens, may be effective on bone health. The authors carried out an intervention study to explore the effects of dietary isoflavone on the bone metabolism. 40 healthy female postmenopausal Japanese immigrants living in Brazil were divided into 2 groups, and urinary excretion of bone resorption markers was reduced in the isoflavone-administered group, while the placebo group did not show any significant reduction. Differences in the levels of urinary isoflavones where bone reabsorption markers between the 2 groups were significant. This study demonstrated that the bone resorption was associated with the intake of soy isoflavones in postmenopausal women, and continuous dietary intake of isoflavone may inhibit postmenopausal osteoporosis. So basically it's saying that the isoflavones in soy milk prevents osteoporosis for postmenopausal women. That's what it's saying. And these studies have been can be reproduced. Okay, so now some people might say, well, hang on a minute. Some people say, well, isn't estrogen not good for you? It has harmful effects, and you might hear that about soy. People avoiding soy products. No, it's estrogen may have harmful effects, but this is the phytoestrogen, which is plant-based, has a different effect on the system than the other. And so, and you can look up some more studies on this, all right, the difference between the two, the plant-based and well, that used in hormone replacement therapy, for example. Okay, so other symptoms that it improves are fatigue, irritability, and decreasing of hot flushes. So those things will be benefited by the increased consumption of soy milk, believe it or not. Another protection comes from flaxseed. Another study was done. It was designed to evaluate the effects of flaxseed consumption on several markers of bone resorption and bone formation in the blood and urine of postmenopausal women. And again, this study brought out that flaxseed significantly lowered a marker of bone resorption in the blood serum. It had no effect on serum bone-specific markers of bone formation in comparison to the control group. The flaxseed diet also tended to decrease both urinary excretions of another marker of bone resorption and calcium. The findings suggest that flaxseed retards the rate of bone resorption. In other words, flaxseed prevents calcium loss. That's really in a nutshell what it's saying. Okay, flaxseed. So these are a few things that, that we can take with us tonight in regard to calcium-based diet, purely sourcing our calcium from the vegetable kingdom and the benefits that it has on our systems tonight. So thank you very much, and I trust this has been helpful for you, and then we'll go in now to our demonstration. So thank you. If you want a copy of this PowerPoint, I can give it to you afterwards. Right? Just let me know. Well, tonight, our first demonstration, if you've got the leaflets here, our first demonstration will be red lentil tofu, and that demonstration is going to be conducted by Rosetta. So I will, where is Rosetta? She's still there. Yes, please, Joe. Can you just... There's Rosetta there. We're ready to go. Okay, any questions? Any questions? All right. Okay. Thank you. Do you need... Would you like that? Do you need that? Okay.
Good evening, everybody. How are you all going tonight? Thank God that it stopped raining a little. I'm just praying that the Central Coast is not flooded, so that's good. Anyway, how did we go last week? Did anyone manage to try any of the recipes that we did? You? What did you try? The lima bean pie, yeah, that was good. I had some leftovers from there, and I had it for lunch the next day, and lunch the next day after that, and it was still yum, and it was still really good. Anybody else? Did you try the lima bean pie, or, yeah? Okay, that's good. Okay, well, we've got another really good, easy recipe tonight. This my daughter gave to me. She has issues with soy. Okay, she can't have soy, but she likes tofu sort of things. Anyway, she found this recipe, red lentil tofu. And anyway, it was a real surprise and really good. I really like it. So what we're going to do, very easy, only 3 ingredients, just water, lentils and salt. You can add different things if you like. You can add more salt, less salt. You can add mixed herbs if you like. Instead of the second lot of cold water, you can even put things like coconut cream instead, and it gives it a bit of a Asian flavour. You can put, as I said, mixed herbs into the mix. So we'll start that. Very easy. 3/4 of a cup of dried red lentils. Just put it in your blender. And 1.5 cups of boiled water or boiling water. That's the 1 cup and 1/2 cup. And you just let it sit. Let it sit for about 15-20 minutes. So I'm going to put this one aside. Ta-da, here's one we did earlier, okay? So it's absorbed most of the water, so it's all gone really quite thick. So that's what we're doing. What you're getting tonight to try is this recipe, but 2 versions of it. One is just as we're making it, and the other one on your plate, we've fried up. So it's the same thing, except one is fried up, that's all. So you can see how it tastes. So we've got the water has been soaking in here for about, since Paul started talking, I think, for about 20 minutes. So we're just going to put it through the blender till it all blends up, and it blends up really, really nicely. It comes like a milky sort of a consistency. So it'll make a bit of noise. And we have 1 1/4 cups of cold water, just normal water, 1 1/4 cups. This will give you the consistency that you have. So did everyone hear what I just said? Okay, so if you want your tofu to be like silken tofu or a little softer, so it's not so hard like this one, if you want to use it in some recipes like, I don't know, scrambled egg or something like that, if you want it softer, then you add more water at this stage, up to 2 cups of water, and that will give you a creamier, sort of a softer consistency. But for this one, we're doing 1 1/4 cups of just cold water. We'll give it a bit more whiz. Now what we do, we need to just cook it up. So it's just a matter of pouring the liquid in. It just looks like pink milk at this stage. And now we have to cook it. It probably takes about 5 minutes or so. It gets gluggy. It turns into like a thick porridge. If you've ever made semolina porridge or just normal porridge or even polenta, that's what happens to it. And it happens quite quickly. So you have to keep stirring it, otherwise it'll burn. It's already starting to stick to the spoon. Let me turn this thing down a bit. Perhaps a bit too high. Starting to thicken. So we haven't sort of served it up with anything. We've left it plain so that you can taste what it tastes like. And of course you can add it to stir fries, you can add it to any of your dishes. I made it with the coconut cream, and I added ginger and a bit of chili and soy sauce and things like that, and it has a nice flavour. Okay, it's starting to get thick. I need a hot plate, something to hold the pan. Okay, so it's probably not even 5 minutes. Like it's starting to get all gluggy. Once it's done, see it's getting very thick.
Say something.
Something.
Can I have yours?
Okay, let me turn this off.
We'll do a bit of an operation on the other mic.
Okay, I've just turned this off. Can you take that? Okay, I've just turned it off, and look at it. It's gone really thick. So at this stage, I'm going to have to put the mic down because I need 2 hands to do this. It's just a matter of putting it into a dish. And you have to do this fairly quickly because it starts to harden. Okay. Okay, you can probably, this is the end, so it really doesn't matter. Okay, so I just smooth it. Just smooth it out. And of course you can make it as thick as you like. The one we did was about a centimetre, 1.5 centimetres. As you can see, it's quite thick and gluggy. And then you just leave it to cool. That's it. And you can use it as soon as it hardens, you can use it. You can put it in the fridge, let it set properly, hard, overnight. Did you have a question? No, it won't, yeah. Does it take long to harden? It doesn't take long to harden because it starts to go hard virtually straight away. Once it cools down, then it's easier to work with, obviously. And that's it. So that, I can tip that upside down. And it'll come away from the sides. It won't stick to the bowl that it's in. So it'll come away from the sides and you can just tip it out. It does start to stick to the pot when, as you're mixing it, like porridge, it starts to stick. And that's when you know that it's ready. It's nice and thick. And that's when you pour it out, it's done. So that's that. That's quick and easy. So experiment with that. Yes? The only difference between the two samples was that one was just that, the other one was that fried up. That was the difference. Just so that you can see the difference in the consistency. I tried putting it in the oven to see whether that would give it a good crunch, but it dries it out and it's not as good. I don't know whether an air fryer might be better if you put it in an air fryer, if you don't want to fry it up in oil. If you put it in an air fryer, that might give you the crunch without drying it out too much. Yeah, so that's it. Nice and easy, quick. Yes, Veronica? For the soft one, in order to make it soft, the second quantity of water that's on here, the 1 1/4, instead of using a 1 1/4, you use 2 cups. No. What we've done, what you've been given as samples is according to the recipe. Well, they're both the same. It's exactly the same. Oil, yeah, it's shallow fried in oil. Yeah. You could deep fry it if you want. It'd be quicker. Yeah. Instead of making potato chips, it's like, but it's probably better for you because, and one thing about red lentils is that they're high in protein, they're high in folate, which is your B vitamin, and also they have potassium and they're gluten-free. So very, very good for you. And they do have carbohydrates as well, but very good source of protein. If you want to substitute meat, lentils are a very good source of protein. Yes? You can store it, no problem, in an airtight container. Once it's cooked like this, it should start to already starting to come away from the sides. You can transfer it, you can chop it. Once it's hard, once it's cooled down, actually, it's easier to cut into squares or whatever shape you want your tofu to be, and then you can store it for a couple of days in the fridge, no problem. And then use it for later date, whatever you like. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes. This is the exact same one. Yes, the same. This is what we did. I made a whole big batch of the same thing, and then half of it we fried. Yeah. So that's why you got 2 samples, so that you could see the difference, in the taste as well. So this is sort of like the average tofu taste, I suppose, although it's probably got more flavour than tofu itself. Yes, what you buy in the supermarket is made from soy, whereas this is made from red lentils. And this is a quicker way of making than from soy, I believe. Soy takes a bit longer, soy tofu takes a bit longer to make tofu than what this does. Yeah. More questions? No? All good. Okay. We'll go to Stella now. Stella has something.
We're going to change the program, the order.
Oh yeah, we're changing, yeah.
That's fine. Hi everybody, how are you? Good to see you all. Nice to see you again and nice to see new faces. Welcome. We're going to start off with dessert now because that needs to be cooked. So we will go there and then we're going to interrupt the dessert and then I'll do some demonstrations and then we'll go back. Okay? So Stella's going to demonstrate how to make a fruit sago. Thank you, Stella.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Very nice to see you all. Very nice to see some new faces. And tonight I will present a tapioca pudding or sago pudding. Tapioca comes from a vegetable root that grows in South America and Brazil the most. They like tropical climate. And we know it's a starch, but our body needs starch too. So it's a healthy starch, and it has calcium, which helps with our bones. It has iron, which helps with the oxygen to be carried in our body, and it doesn't have any saturated fat. So that's all about it for now. We will go straight into our recipe. And yes, I would like just to show the tapioca pearls. If somebody doesn't know what it is, it's tapioca pearls, and you can find it in the gluten-free or in the health food section of Coles or Woolies. Yeah, it's used in many gluten-free dishes. It's a good substitute for gluten-free flour. All right, so to begin with, we'll put 3 cups of milk. In the saucepan.
What kind of milk, Stella?
Soy milk or almond milk. This recipe is unlike most of the recipes on YouTube are with eggs and with cow's milk and with some dairy products added to it. But this is dairy products free and egg free. So it's a healthy dessert, very refreshing and creamy, nice. Okay. Oh, not too big. So we'll bring that milk to boil, and then we add the tapioca. Tapioca can come in smaller pearls or bigger pearls. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter which ones you find in the. This burns my hand. A little bit. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. So we'll slowly add the tapioca. I just heard that some people are soaking the tapioca overnight or a couple of hours. I didn't, and it came out very nice. Everybody loves it. So after it comes to boil, we'll cook it for a couple of minutes, probably 6 to 10 minutes, and then we'll add the juice to it, which gives more flavor. And I found that using raspberries gives a very nice, a tangy little sourish taste. It's a very refreshing dessert for summertime. You have to refrigerate it after cooking. And then sometimes I place it straight into the little cups as to be served directly, or I put it in a see-through nice bowl, and it looks very nice and it's very appetizing. Now, while I'm going to cook this, I will give Lydia to demonstrate something else. So you will probably see me putting the juice in the meantime while she is demonstrating. And then at the end, when it's cooked, I add all the rest of the ingredients. And that's all very easy and quick and tasty. Lydia, you want to take? Yeah. Quite strong voice. So you cook it over low heat, and you mix through it. As it becomes more a little bit chewy, a little bit gooey at the end. So it's very, very thick consistency.
Okay, I'm just going to demonstrate a very, is this on? Yep. A very quick, easy green bean salad. So the girls have actually steamed the green beans for me so that I don't have to steam it here, saves time. It's just as simple as steaming it. When you steam the green beans and you want it to stay nice and green, don't leave it hot. Just flush it under cold water or dip it into iced water, and that keeps that nice green, vivid green colour. And okay, so it's a very, very simple way of doing it. But before I do that, your sheets, I'll just get a couple of young men to come, or can someone come and distribute this, Joe, please? The one that you have is bulk. The one that you have is bulk, so I'll give you a smaller version of it. Thank you, Paul.
She's my wife. I'm allowed to do this. In case you're wondering.
Okay, so we're just going to put all the ingredients for the dressing and just use a little jar or anything you have. I'm going to give a plug to Vegemite. And I'm just going to use a Vegemite jar to put all my ingredients into it. I'll start off with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So put that in. Then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. 2 teaspoons, sorry. This is why I'm used to the bulk version of it. But yeah, 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. 2 teaspoons of soy sauce and 2 teaspoons of maple syrup. Okay, now I do have the green beans, yes. Now what I'm going to do is the green bean salad. That's the one that I'm doing, and Joe and Paul are handing you out the one that I'm doing right now because the other one is for a bigger amount. This is 500 grams, a packet of 500. So the other one is for 4 lots of this. So it's quite a big amount. So then I'll put the garlic. I'm just using a very small garlic. Unless if you want to, look, you can adjust this to your taste, all right? If you feel like you need a bit more sweetening or a bit more lemon or a bit more garlic, it's up to you. It's something that you don't have to stick with what's written, okay? So you just use how you like. And I'm using a stock powder called Marcel. Now Marcel is 100% vegan, vegetarian, so it's quite safe. And the one that because I buy the big bulk tins, we have them down at the shop, big 2 kilo tins, 2.5 I think it is. I seem to use that chicken style flavouring because I've got a big tin of it anyway. So I'll just put that in. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And all you do is you shake it up. So any jar or anything that you can give it a good shake, and it's ready for your salad. So it's really easy and quick. And if you don't like the taste, you just adjust it to your taste and just toss it into your salad. And just give it a nice toss and coat it all in that mixture. And just to garnish, I've roasted some sunflower seeds and some sesame seeds, and you just throw that on so that it really looks nice and it's flavoured. And it's a very easy and quick salad for summertime. And here it is, all ready to go. Very fast, very delicious, and you'll have a taste of it very soon. How are we going, Stella? Are we getting there, or do you want me to keep going?
Oh, you can keep going.
Okay. Now the next one I'm going to do there is the vegetable frittata, which is on your sheets. So I'll start with that. Is it? Not good? I'm sorry about the mic problems tonight. There's always something, isn't there? The demonstration, you can't. Just while Joe's fixing up the mic, I'm just going to drain. Earlier on, I'd sliced some potatoes. So it doesn't go black. I've just left them in some water. So I'll just take the water out. And the same with the sweet potatoes. Thank you. And if you can take this water away too in a minute. Yeah. Yep. I think we're right. Okay. All right. Now I've also baked the potatoes for you for later on so that you can see how it's done. But I'm going to accept, we need to shift some of these. Joe, could you please put these on the other side so they can see what's happening? Put that on the other side and move this down. Yeah, there, that's fine. Thank you, that's good. I'll pop this over here. We're rearranging things here. Okay, yes, you need the mic.
As you're cooking the tapioca, first time when I cooked it, I thought, oh, what's going to happen? They become transparent. And I thought, wow, it's going to be just a liquid something. But they just become transparent. And as they cool down, you can see the little pearls, actually. It's really, really nice. So don't be afraid if you try the recipe and you will see that, oh, there's nothing there. But they're actually there. They're just a little see-through, little pearls. Yeah. That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Repeat there.
Oh, okay. Next.
I can always give you a mic. If you have any question, just put your hand up and I'll bring you the mic so people online can also hear you. Others will start wondering what's going on.
Okay, so I've sliced up the potatoes earlier on and I'm just going to slice up the eggplants. And what we do is just put all the veggies together in a bowl. Okay, and some capsicum and some onion. Where's my... Sorry. Okay, Levi, you right? Okay. I usually like to take the little, you know how the onion's got a little bit on the end? Sometimes that makes things bitter, so I just get rid of it. And so just cut them fairly big. It doesn't have to be small, just nice big slices. Okay, now the veggies are ready to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make the cream that I'm going to put into the veggies so I can toss it up. Sorry, no, that's okay, it's okay. It's all good. I think we need to extend the table maybe, huh? All right, I'll just pop that here. Okay. So in the cream, I just put 1.5. Actually, this one's a bit, it's a smaller amount, so let me think. I'm thinking the bigger amount because I do 10 potatoes. This has got 1/2 kilo of potatoes is equivalent about 5 potatoes, okay? And normally I do 10 potatoes, so I've got to rethink in my mind what I'm doing here. But it's... normally I put 1.5 cups of milk. So for this amount here, I've got 3/4 of a cup of milk.
Soya milk.
Yes, soy milk. That's right. Or any other plant-based milk that you would like. You could have oat milk, you could have your anything that you'd like, almond, oats or rice, anything that you'd like. So 3/4 of a cup of milk. I'm just trying to think what did I write on that recipe. Normally I put 1 cup, so is it the cashews? I don't know what I've done with my recipe.
Half a cup of cashews.
Half a cup of cashews? No, that's not it.
1/4 teaspoon salt. No?
Here we go.
Or the new, is that the one?
Okay, normally I put a cup, that's why, yeah. And then I put in a small, where did it go? Okay, half a cup of cashews, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I've got some, half a tablespoon of Marcel stock powder, the chicken style stock powder. I've got 1.5 tablespoons of corn flour and a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. That just gives it the colour. And we whiz all that up together, and that's our cream for our veggies. I might have to go and get a bigger bowl so I could mix it. But before that, I'll toss the veggies. In the veggies, I will put some olive oil and what did I put olive oil on here? 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 cloves of garlic, and and stock powder. How much stock powder did I put? 1/2 tablespoon of stock powder. And we mix that up together. And I coat the vegetables in this. So I'm going to put some gloves on and use my hands. At home that's okay. That's fine, yeah. It's all right. I can still use it for later when I do, yeah. Thank you, Amy. Awesome. Okay, where are my gloves? There they are. At home, when you've got a tap handy, you can just wash your hands, and it's really...
Tastes nice?
Do it with your hands.
Very nice.
Is it all right? Yeah? That's good. You can get your kids to eat veggies like this. You don't have to stick with eggplant and capsicum. You can put whatever you want. So give this a good mix. The oil, the salt, and the garlic through it, or the stock powder and the garlic and the mix all through. Yeah, I will need that big one. I will need that because, yeah. Thank you so much. Hang on, I'll wipe it off with the eggplant. Use the eggplant as a spatula. There we go. Thank you. Yes, and you just coat it all nicely. I brought the other one out because it's glass, so you could see what I'm doing, but this is a lot more serviceable, a bigger bowl. And I'll show you what it looks like. It's all nicely coated with the garlic, the oil, and the stock powder. So that's ready for our cream. So I'll just take these off. And I'm going to make some noise, I'm sorry, just for a little bit. Yes, sorry, go on. Have you got a...
So my pudding is almost ready. I don't let it cook until it's all transparent, even if it's a little bit still white in the middle, because it's going to still absorb the sweetener and the raspberry juice. So what I'm going to do now, I'll take it off. I actually will turn it just off. And put the rest of the ingredients. Can I just have it? Sorry. So I have the maple syrup here. And then I will have the lemon.
How much lemon?
1/4 cup of the lemon. And 250 grams of raspberries. And I put them frozen. Now they're not that frozen because we took them out a little bit earlier. But as they melt, they give a nice color also to the... Oh, there is something there. It's a raspberry leaf. It's okay. And then we have a tablespoon of vanilla. I put the extract. Not a tablespoon. No, it wasn't a tablespoon. No, it's okay. Sorry, I think it's a teaspoon. And if I made a mistake on the recipe sheet, please forgive me. And don't put too much. It's going to be too much of a vanilla taste. So it looks very liquidish now. It looks like it's too runny, but it's going to thicken up. And it will absorb all these beautiful flavors. And you will taste it in a couple of minutes. All right. Thank you. And I'll let you go now.
Okay, I'll make the noise. I'll make the noise now. All right. Okay, and then you just pour that into your mix. This is instead of eggs. So, am I coming through all right, Joe? Can you hear me through the mic? Can you hear me through the mic? This is instead of eggs. That's what we do this mix for. A frittata usually has eggs in it to hold it together. And I'll just get a spatula. Okay. Okay, that looks good. And we just toss it together so that it's all coated. So all your veggies are coated. And what I do is I use 2 trays because I like to keep them flat so that when you put it in an oven, you put on 230 degree oven, so it's very hot. And you cook it for about 20 to 25 minutes, depending on your oven at home. It's got to be nice and brown, and that's what it looks like once it's all coated with the cream. And then I layer it onto your tray, onto the tray so that it can bake. Yes, I do. Sorry. Yes, you can actually. So what we do now is we take that out the back and put it in the oven. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And at the end, I just grab whatever's left over, like your onion and things like that, and just sprinkle it on top. And that will really come up quite nice. Okay, now we'll just do the next step. Can I have right. And sorry. Okay. Okay. What I did, I'll tell you now, I'll dob myself in. The cream should have gone in after it's been baked. Okay? And I put the cream on before it was baked. So I've got to make another lot of cream to toss it in here. And then you can put it in your dish. So what I do is I see how it's.
I was wondering what
potato?
happened there.
You're wondering what happened.
Yeah, remember I was the guinea pig on this, and
Yes,
tasted-
so I
tasted nice,
thought,
but
but
didn't
that
know.
would taste really good anyway because that
Yeah.
would be doubly cream. So that's okay. You don't make a mistake in the kitchen.
all right.
Just
So the cream goes
onto the bake.
after you've
You
baked
bake
it,
and then
you bake
put
it,
the cream
and then you
through
put the
it,
cream
and then
on
you
it.
bake it
Just to
again.
clarify for everyone at home
Yes,
watching.
that's correct.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
So you bake it, you put the cream, and then you transfer it to your dish, and then you bake it again. Okay?
That's right.
Good.
Thank you. It's
Now,
double
what
baked.
I'm going to do while I'm getting some more cream made up, just excuse my fingers. I just place the potatoes on the bottom so that it looks nice. Just make a pattern, whatever pattern you want. Okay. I just, oh yes, yes. So you can just, whatever you want on the bottom, whatever you want to see, you just put that on the bottom. And then you mix all the, you make a design, whatever design you want on the bottom, however you want it to look like. And then you mix the rest, and then you put it on top and you bake that. And you bake it for about 25 minutes on 180. It depends again on your stove to, whatever it is. So that, and leave it for about 15 minutes or so, or even half an hour if you've got time, so that when you tip it out, when you turn it upside down, that if you do it straight away, it might fall apart. So just give it a little bit of time for it to set a little bit, and then you tip it upside down and you can just slice it and serve it as you had. Okay, so any more questions? Okay, so what we do, we bake the veggies with the garlic and the oil and the stock powder. Then we put it in a bowl and we do the cream, mix it together. Then we put it into our baking tray, whichever one you want. I love those silicone baking, they're really good because they pop out really easy. So, I did 4 of those today, but they were the bigger ones, so I didn't want to do a bigger one for show. But, they're really handy if you've got them. They're really good. They're just very easy to you don't need oil. With this, I was going to give it a spray of oil, but I think it'd still be okay with the coating. But those silicone ones, you don't need to spray oil. They just come out really easy, Any questions? No? Okay. Sorry? It was tasting good? Oh, that's good. I'm glad. Yeah, it is nice. It is nice. So this lot here will be a little bit more richer because it'll have more cream through it. So it'll be, because it's doubly baked. So, sometimes you make a mistake in the kitchen and it's a good mistake. And afterwards you go through, I'll do that again. I do that quite often actually. I try things out and I think, oh no, I missed. No, this is better than the original. So, Okay. All right. So how are we going for time? In my box. Okay. I need the blender again, please. Sorry. I'm going to do this again for you so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. So they just went to get me the blender again. So they've taken it away. Okay, now you can put any veggies you like. You can put zucchinis, you could put whatever veggies you like. You don't have to stick with potatoes. You can just make carrots. You can put carrots. You could, whatever's your favourite vegetable. And I like to do something that's colourful. So something red, something green, sometimes or brown. This time I've got purple onions and purple eggplant. And it just gives it a bit of tone, a bit of colour. Coming? The blender's coming? Okay. Which measuring cup have I got here? Half a cup, perfect. And a quarter, I'll use the quarter.
So what are you making now, Lydia? So this is going to be
make the cream.
the cream.
The cream, so that yes, I'm making the cream so that we can put this together.
Yeah.
So you can see what,
That's the cream that goes on the first bake, right?
Yes,
Yep.
correct, yes. Okay, half a cup of cashews, 3/4 of a cup of milk. You got milk there? So I've got 1/4 so I'll just put 3/4.
Cashews are rich in calcium.
Very, yep. 3/4 of a cup of milk.
Low carbohydrates. Good for the keto diet. Anyone on that?
And 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. Yep, that's this one. And I need some stock powder. I think that's what Rosetta's going to get. And then we'll whiz this up again. Could you get me some stock powder, please, Ray? Just bring out the box, the whole tin. Okay. 1/2 teaspoon. That one. Okay, now we do sell the stock powder in a big, if you do a lot of cooking, it works out quite reasonable to have the big tin because it lasts you a few months.
And we sell that in the shop.
We sell that downstairs as well.
Just for those who may not know, I'll just come over here for the camera. For those who are new to this evening, downstairs at that end of the building, we have a little, I guess you call it, it's a health food shop, and it's kind of like bulk food breakdowns and things like that, and items that you perhaps might not necessarily get at Coles or Woolies, so anything to do with that on the health line. So if you'd like to see what we have down there, as Lydia mentioned, we have this here, which is a large tins of stock powder like this. So bulk things like that, including your greens, your seeds and nuts and legumes,
yes.
All these kind of things down there. So that shop is open after this meeting. Okay, tonight. It'll be open tonight. And it's open during the week from 9 till 5:30. Monday to Thursday and 9 till 1 on Fridays. Yes? Low sodium, what, stock powder you're saying, or low sodium?
The Marcel.
Marcel.
Is it, sorry?
Is it low sodium?
Can you check, Paul?
I will check what the sodium is here. The okay, it doesn't give me the daily intake. All right, so this is like, all right, per serve is 389 milligrams. So it's a bit of sodium in there, but I'm not sure exactly how much that would be for. No, it doesn't say.
You can come and have a look at it later, if you like, and read the ingredients.
Yeah, so 100% natural. There's no MSG, fat-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, vegan. Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll leave it here if anybody wants to check. I'm going to make noise again. Sorry. I need some corn flour, please. I've just got to get some corn flour to put in there because it has to have corn flour, 1.5 tablespoons of corn flour. Thank you.
Talking about blenders, that's a Vitamix, isn't it, Lydia?
It is a Vitamix, and I wouldn't go anything else. I love the Vitamix. Where are you, Paul? It's a very, very good machine. We've had ours for a number of years, and we use it every morning. My husband makes a smoothie, and in his smoothies, it's not just a bit of fruit. It's nuts, seeds, fruit, everything goes in there. Green powder, and you name it, it goes in. And it churns and churns and churns. No problem. We've done that every morning. So the Vitamix is a real good machine to have. Okay, we're done. Just pour that into your baked vegetables.
There we go. That's looking more like it.
That's looking more like it, isn't it?
That's what I remember.
I knew I did it wrong when I did it in the first place, and I thought, do I dob myself in or not? But, yeah. But like I said, it'll probably taste really nice because it's going to have double coating of this, so it'll be good. Never throw anything out. There's always something you can make from it. When you do make a mistake, there is no mistakes in the kitchen. Remember that.
Could you just lift that one up just to show the people at home? There you go.
Okay. Just mix that up. I did a lot bigger amount earlier on, so this is it feels a bit, something's missing for me. I'm used to bulk cooking. And then I'm going to pour this into the tin. And then we bake it for 25 minutes or so, 20 minutes, 25, until it's nice and golden. And yeah, and it's ready to serve. You can make it the day before and put it in the fridge and then just reheat it. When you're reheating it, just do it on 160 and leave it for about 20 minutes or half an hour. And that freshens it up and it's really nice then. It tastes like as if it's just been made. So if you're thinking of having a dinner party and you don't want to have, you know, like a last minute rush, this is really handy because it can be done the day before. Any time saving meal that you can make when you're having guests is really good. So yeah, so I just flatten that out. And when we bake this, we'll turn it upside down when we take it out. So you'll see the potatoes and things that I've put on the bottom. So that's what it should look like. Okay? That'll go in the oven
on the
now.
plate? Is that what?
That's it there.
Yeah, so that's the cooked, when it comes out, that's what it looks like when
That's
it comes out.
what it looks like. So that'll go in the oven now.
Do you want to zoom in on that,
And
Nathan? Can you just...
And if you're still here in 25 minutes, you can
Joe,
see
can we
it.
just show that on the screen, please?
Rosetta.
The...
On 180, thanks. Yep, thank you.
There we go.
Okay, what did
Thank
you think
you.
of the dessert? All right?
How was that dessert? Yes?
It's really refreshing in summer when in the afternoon. It is so nice when it's really cold. Beautiful, beautiful. It's so, I don't know, you don't feel like, I've had all that sugar, I've had all that cream, and I feel so sick. No, it's really nice and refreshing. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions on anything that you've gone through tonight? You're okay? You're happy? That's good. That's good. Well, next week we've got something very exciting for you, if those that are coming back. I won't tell you too much about it, but I think you're going to love it. So, yes. The lentil dish, the red lentils. No, I think you should use red lentils.
Yeah, the question was, can you use any lentils?
Can you use any lentils
Yeah.
for that first
Yes.
dish? I think the red lentils is a bit more creamy and it doesn't have that strong flavour like if you use brown lentils. It doesn't have the husk and it's not as strong. So, yeah, the red lentils would be the best to stick with that. Yep. Okay. Well,
All right.
we've done it. We're
That's
on
it?
time, are we?
That's it. Yeah, we're early. I think we're early.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Early.
That's cool.
Okay. Did you
Yes.
enjoy that? Yes? All right. Thank you.
Very good. Very
Okay. All right. Well, we'd just like to wind up tonight. As I said, any of these recipes here, if you want a copy for your friends, there's plenty here on the table. Take home. Anyone who's here tonight wasn't here last week. See Lydia for the recipes from last week, and she'll make sure you'll get those. And any questions before we close up? No more? No? Okay. And don't forget, I mentioned the shop is downstairs after this meeting. If you want to have a look there, it's only a small shop there. We sell some Christian books as well down there.
Donations.
So, and also, as you could probably tell tonight, we were having some challenges with our lapel mic here. This little boy has done, I don't know how many years of work, but it's playing up, and so we're going to have to get a new one for next week. Which reminds me that, look, if you have enjoyed this and you'd like to support, we have a little donation box there, and that just goes towards the expenses of providing the samples here for you, as well as the ingredients that we've used to cook tonight. And we'll probably dig into that to supply some of this equipment we need. So feel free to give to the box there. Well, this now, I'd like us to bow as we thank the Lord for this evening's meeting. So let's just bow as we pray. Dear Father in heaven, we thank you so much, Lord, for the many mercies and blessings you've given to us. We thank you for this knowledge that you've made so clear and plain to us, the wonderful things you've given to us in the plant kingdom for our benefit, for our enjoyment, and we thank you for the knowledge of how to prepare that in a way that's tasty and nourishing. So we thank you, Lord, for everyone that's come here tonight. We pray that everyone has been blessed. You'll take care of us. Keep us in your care and your love until we meet again. And we thank you and praise you in the name of our dear Lord and Saviour, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Well, thanks, everybody, for coming. And hopefully we'll see you all next week, God willing. And if you're not going to be here but you would like to get the recipes, see Lydia. And again, online, it's our YouTube channel for the local church here. We call this Schofield's Church. That's all you've got to do. YouTube, Schofield's Church. Click on the channel. And someone asked, by popular request, we've now made a playlist for all the cooking demonstrations, all right? So it's there on the channel. So if you want to catch up, then any recipes, as I said, see Lydia and she'll be able to get those to you. Thanks, everybody. Good night. And thank you to all the little kids, little helpers here, yeah? So thank you, everybody. And at the back here, we have all the ones from the background. These are the ones that keep it all happening at the back here. So we have Owen, Abby, Tanya, Amy, Co, Zephaniah, and who else is hiding in the corner there?
There's quite a few in here.
Yes. All right, there's a whole crew back there, but these are the few to help us keep it all going in the kitchen there. And so thank you, everybody. Good night, and God bless. Till next time. Thank you.